welcome to another ranking video. Today I'll be doing a ranking of the 7 Chucky films. If you saw just last week, I did a ranking of the 9 Star Wars films, but I felt like I should do the Chucky movies because I'm a big fan of Chucky, if you can't tell. I've been a fan since the 5th grade, actually. I've said this in a couple other videos, but and also my top 4, I believe, videos are all Chucky related. I don't know why. In particular, my viewers like Chucky, or just, other viewers. But, yeah, if you go and check my top 4 videos, they're all Chucky videos. So I figured, why not do a Chucky ranking because, it'll go with that, I guess. But yeah, I've been a big fan of Chucky, like I said, since 5th grade, and I was in 5th grade back in the year 2006, I want to say, 2006, 2007. So yeah, even back then, when I was only 10 and 11 years old, I started watching these movies, and I've been a big fan ever since. When Curse of Chucky came out, I was very excited because we hadn't had a Chucky movie in, I think it was 9 years at the time, and then Cult of Chucky now came out. So, yeah, it looks like the series is still going to continue, and it has yet to be, remaked or, rebooted. I mean, I guess you could say it's been rebooted, sort of, with the newer movies, but, I'm just very happy that this franchise is still continuing, because I would say Chucky is probably my favorite horror series overall. I was pretty much a big fan of Chucky, more so than Freddy or Jason or anybody else. Like, I was a big fan of all of them, of course, but Chucky for me has been the most consistent, and a lot of different things going on in each movie as well. Like, the first movie was just a simple, story with the kid and the doll. The second movie, you ended up going to the toy factory, which was cool, great ending. The third movie was in a military camp of all things, or a boot camp, whatever you want to call it, military school. And then the fourth movie was kind of a sort of reboot. You introduced the Bride of Chucky, Tiffany. That was a cool, kind of road trip movie. And then Seed of Chucky, isn't really that great, but, it was different. Chucky had a son. And then Curse of Chucky, each movie is very different. So that's what I love about Chucky. It's just a different thing going on each time. And, of course, Brad Dourif as Chucky. He's great. A lot of unique kills and stuff, and the character's awesome, great dialogue. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of Chucky. But anyways, I'm going to stop rambling on and actually go to the ranking. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to put Curse of Chucky at the bottom. Now, I know what everyone's saying. Why not Seed of Chucky at the bottom? Because everyone hates Seed of Chucky. I've never seen anybody, say they love Seed of Chucky, you know what I mean? Like, I've heard people that like Seed of Chucky, but no one that really loves it. Me personally, I don't hate Seed of Chucky. I actually like it quite a bit. It is bad though. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of bad stuff in it. But Curse of Chucky is still new to me. Cult of Chucky is obviously newer to me because that literally just came out 2 months ago. But I don't know. For some reason, I don't really like Curse of Chucky that much. I don't hate it. Like I said, I don't really hate any movie. But Curse of Chucky, it just was kind of lacking something for me. And this one felt very low budget. Of course, this was the first one to go direct to DVD, which isn't a problem. Don't get me wrong, because Cult of Chucky I thought was great. That was direct to DVD as well, or direct to Blu-ray, whatever you want to call it. But this one really felt like it was a drop in quality. I mean, of course, you got a lower budget and all that, but there were some practical effects with Chucky, which was nice. But some of the acting in this movie is just straight up awful. I mean, at least in Seed of Chucky, it felt like it had a higher production value. I mean, of course, it was made, it went to theaters and all that. It had a whole budget and everything. But this movie, I don't know, it was just missing something for me. I don't know. I mean, I did really like, this is going to contain spoilers, by the way, probably for all the movies, so if you don't want to know anything, you might want to leave. Right now, actually. I did like the cameo by Andy. That was cool. The cameo by Tiffany. That was really awesome. I really loved that stuff. When I first saw that, I was, shocked. But, I don't know. Just something was missing. I did like the, what's her name? I can't think of her. Oh, Nika. There you go. Played by Brad Dourif's daughter, which is crazy. She did a great job in this, and Cult of Chucky also. I really enjoyed her character, her story, and all that. It's just the other characters were kind of really forgettable. I can't name anybody else that was in this movie. All the other movies, I can name probably several characters from each movie. This one, I can't name anybody else aside from Nika and Chucky. And Tiffany and Andy, but, those were just cameos. I don't know. It was, it was cool, too, to see Chucky, the actual human version of Chucky again. in a flashback. That was different. But I don't know, just this movie was lacking something for me. I mean, I didn't mind the whole, it took place in a house pretty much the whole time, a nice big creepy house, but that was okay. It's just, I don't know, this movie was lacking something for me. But I don't hate it though, don't get me wrong. I only put Seed of Chucky above it because I've kind of grown up with Seed of Chucky, you know what I mean? I've seen it countless times, and I watched it at a very young age, so I kind of have like a sentimental thing going on with that, kind of like when I put the Phantom Menace above Attack of the Clones in my ranking video for Star Wars, because I had a sentimental spot for Phantom Menace. It's a bad movie, yes, but I had it on VHS tape, and I think it was the first Star Wars movie I ever saw, just being honest. So yeah, that's why I put Seed of Chucky above this mainly, because I have a sentimental spot for Seed of Chucky. But this movie is not, I wouldn't say it's bad. Many would think maybe it is bad because it's very low budget and bad acting. But if you're a Chucky fan, it's good. It's a nice return to the series. It's just missing something for me. I don't know. But Curse of Chucky, not horrible or anything, but it's at the bottom, unfortunately. I wish I could say otherwise. But yeah. Anyways, the next one, like I've said, is Seed of Chucky. Now, Seed of Chucky really went for the comedy. Now, Bride of Chucky, indigestion. Bride of Chucky had a lot of comedy as well, but it was still a nice horror movie. There was a lot of blood and guts and all that. Seed of Chucky had blood and guts as well, but they really amplified the comedy in this one. Chucky went to Hollywood, and, and they had the whole storyline with his son being Glenn or Glenda. I mean, I don't know. It just kind of got really silly. Chucky kind of turned into a parody of himself. I mean, you got to think about it too. At the time, it was 2004, I think. Chucky started in the 80s and then into the 90s. It's like, okay, by now you can't really take him seriously. Like, I understand why they did it. It's just the movie just kind of fell flat. I don't know. But for me, though, there's a lot of great moments in it, though. A lot of great dialogue with him and Tiffany, trying not to get him to kill anymore. We gotta look good for our son and all that. And then they're arguing if he's a boy or a girl. I mean, you watch that today, it's kind of different because of the whole, everybody makes a big deal about genders and all. I won't get into that. But anyways, yeah, just, it's a bad movie. I know that for sure. It's just, it's still got great moments in it, I think. A lot of good kills. And crazy, bizarre scene where they have to, you probably know what I'm talking about. Someone's strapped to a bed. Yeah, you get what I'm talking about. Anyways, yeah, just Seed of Chucky, it's bad. I wouldn't say it's horrible, though. And I thought the actor, who did the voice for Glenn, was very good. Billy Boyd, who was in the Lord of the Rings movies, I think. He was good, and I want to see Glenn come back in a future movie. That'd be nice. But I keep knocking these down. I'm sorry. It's kind of hard for me to... I got a big light right in front of me. I'm trying not to hit anything here. Alright, anyways. Yeah, Seed of Chucky is in 6th place. Don't have much to say about it. It's just everyone knows it's bad. Alright, let me back these up. I keep knocking them over. Let me back them up. There we go. Alright, coming in 5th place is Cult of Chucky. Now, I only put Cult of Chucky in 5th place. It's because, obviously, it's the one I've seen the least. I mean, this is only 2 months old. I've probably watched it 3 times now, I think. I did a whole reaction video, too, if you want to check that out. A whole hour and a half or whatever, the first time I watched it. And that one's got good views, too. Anyways, Cult of Chucky, yeah, I don't really have much to say about this because I've only seen it a couple times. But I did think it was very good. I liked the whole setting of the mental institution, or whatever you want to call it. And, of course, if you've seen the movie, the big twist is that there's multiple Chuckys now. And then Chucky actually finally transferred his soul into a person, Nika, right there. And that was cool because you get to see Fiona Dourif act like her father, Brad Dourif, which was, different. And then... she kisses Tiffany, and then they drive off, and then there's a Tiffany doll in the background laughing. It's like, oh, now there's multiple Tiffany's. Just a crazy... it's crazy that this movie has been... this series, I should say, has been around this long, and now they're doing something that could make it last, like, even longer. Like, there's a whole twist to the entire storyline now that there's multiple, Chucky's and Tiffany's and all this craziness going on. So, yeah, Cult of Chucky definitely had a lot to offer. I like the direction they took it in. It might turn some people off seeing that, but I thought it was cool. And then you had Andy in there. Andy had a lot of screen time, which I was happy about. It was cool to see him in there. Tiffany, of course, was in it as well. Not too much screen time, but just enough, I guess. And then there's some good kills in there and whatnot. And some of the other characters were likable, I guess, in the building. Um, yeah, just solid movie. I thought it was a very good sequel, better than Curse of Chucky for sure. But I am putting it kind of low. It's just because I haven't seen it that many times. That's pretty much the reason why. And the ones above it I've seen countless times. I can't even tell you. But yeah, Cult of Chucky, very good movie, and it's in fifth place? Yeah. All right, coming in at fourth place is going to be Bride of Chucky. Now I had a hard time deciding because the original three Child's Play movies are great, but you'd probably know Child's Play 3. It's kind of everyone knows this. Child's Play 3 is not as good as the first two, so I had a hard time deciding between Child's Play 3 and Bride of Chucky. What would come in at fourth place? I decided to go with Bride of Chucky because it is it's very different. The first three work as a great trilogy in my opinion. When they got to the fourth movie, they obviously changed a lot of things. Now, I'm not saying this as a negative, but Bride of Chucky does not feel like a true, solid Chucky movie as much as Child's Play 3 does. Obviously, it was still called Child's Play back then, and then they completely switched the title. But and that when I say that, I mean there's no Andy, obviously. There's no would you call it? There's no one single location. The third movie had the military school. Second movie had the factory, and then Andy's foster home or whatever. The first movie had the apartment Andy lived in. So this was very different. Like I said, I'm not using that as a negative, really. It's just, that's why I put Child's Play 3 above it. It just works better for me because it does feel like, one of the original movies more so. I would say Bride of Chucky is, still in a OG Chucky movie because it's, it's very old now. It's 20-something years old, I think. But there's a lot of great stuff in Bride of Chucky. The humor's there, but it's actually really funny humor. And Tiffany's a great character, too. I didn't really talk about her too much, but Jennifer Tilly was a great choice to play Tiffany, before and after she becomes a doll. Great character. I'm glad she's continued to, be in all these movies. She's been in 4 now, right? Bride? Yeah, 4 movies. So yeah, great character. And it really did work, actually, giving him a bride. And the comedy was good. The horror was good as well. There's a memorable kill in there with John Ritter, rest in peace, John Ritter, where he gets all those pins in his head and whatnot. And then the ending scene at the graveyard was awesome. And then the baby comes out. It's like, oh my god, what a crazy ending. Very good movie. But I like I said, Child's Play 3 just does a little more for me, so that's why I put it above it. But Bride of Chucky is not bad by any means, so don't get me wrong. But yeah, Bride of Chucky, good movie. Alright, anyways, Child's Play 3. Now, some people absolutely hate Child's Play 3. Me, I love it. I really feel like Child's Play 3 is underrated, underappreciated. I get why, though. I get why people don't like it. Because it's okay, of all places to have a killer doll, a military school? I get the hate for the movie. And you compare it to the first 2 movies, it's no contest. It's yeah, Child's Play 1 and 2 are miles better. But Child's Play 3, I think, is underrated. I would almost put it on par with not the first movie, but maybe the second movie. You could probably tell where my order is going with this, as which one I like the best. But Child's Play 3 also had a character named Tyler, and that's obviously my name. When I first found that out, I thought it was hilarious. Fun fact, it was my... I guess when I started watching these movies when I was 10 or 11. So it must have been my 12th birthday, maybe my 11th birthday. My birthday present was a DVD of Child's Play 3. My dad got it for me. Because when I first watched these movies, we had Netflix, but it was the old Netflix where you actually got the DVDs in the mail, just to rent them for a few days or whatever. So that's how I watched Child's Play 1, 2, and Bride of Chucky, and Seed of Chucky. Those were the only Chucky movies out at the time. Now, I didn't say Child's Play 3 because Netflix didn't have Child's Play 3 for some reason. I don't know why. So my dad went ahead and bought a DVD for me online, and that was my birthday present. Child's Play 3 on DVD. I still own it, too. I don't know where it is, but I have to find it. I think that I always like to tell that story. I got a copy of Child's Play 3 for my birthday one year. And then I found out there was a character in there named Tyler, and that's who he's chasing in the movie, which is funny. Kind of going off track here, sorry, but anyways, maybe that's like another thing, and it's like a sentimental thing, you know what I mean? Um, with this movie, and I thought that was just funny. Andy's in the movie too, of course, played by a different actor, but I thought he did a very good job. Because the thing is, Child's Play 2 was the first movie made by Universal. The first one was made by MGM, but the first one by Universal was Child's Play 2. So after they bought the rights, I guess. And then I guess this movie was successful that they made Child's Play 3 literally 1 year after this movie came out. So the thing is, they had to have Andy be older, so they casted an older actor. That's why that happened. Um, but yeah, just I don't know. It's underrated, in my opinion. I do like the location. I do love the fact that this movie ends at a carnival. That is awesome for Chucky because they're running around the carnival and then they go on this roller coaster ride and well, they don't go on the ride, but they run around, through it and stuff. And then Chucky gets obliterated at the end, which is cool. Um, Very different. I like when things get, in a series, they take chances and do things differently. That's why I really liked Cult of Chucky and what the twist was and all that. Um, So yeah, Child's Play 3 is definitely underrated, I think, and not as bad as everyone else says. And there's a lot of great moments in there, a lot of great kills. The scene with the barber was pretty funny. Yeah, just give it another chance if you're a Chucky fan and you're watching this, which I presume you are. Anyways, Child's Play 2 comes in at second place, and you can probably tell what number 1 is by now. Child's Play 2 is a fantastic sequel. I actually had a kind of a hard time deciding if Child's Play 2 or 1 was better because I really loved the last 25 minutes of this movie in the factory. That is like literally the perfect setting for a Chucky movie is the toy factory. That stuff was awesome. The stuff in the foster home too was cool where Chucky, buried the other doll and then acted like he was the doll of the house and tried to kill Andy again. Just a great movie. And then you had the character of Kyle, which it was cool to see her have a cameo in this. Kyle was a great character. Yeah, then you had the scene in the classroom with Chucky and the ruler, and beating the teacher to death with the ruler. It's a very good sequel. Universal did a good job on this. Very different movie from the first one. And yeah, just I don't have much else to say. Just a great sequel. And I love the way Chucky died in this one too. They inflated his head to the size of like I don't know, just a huge. I guess I'll just say a huge pumpkin or something. I don't know, and it blew up. That was crazy. Yeah, and then they boiled him alive and. Wow, great movie. I love the ending of this movie, if you can't tell. But yeah, Child's Play 2, fantastic sequel. Everybody knows that. Anyways, number 1 is the original Child's Play. Now, you gotta put this in number 1 because when you watch this movie, you can tell there's a mood, there's a tone, there is a distinctive feel to this movie that's very, very different from all the other movies. This one actually feels like it's supposed to be a suspenseful horror thriller movie. Like it actually has that essence to it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it just has a feeling to it that it's like, okay, this is like a great horror scary movie. The special effects too were fantastic, I think. I know a lot of shots utilized a short person, a dwarf, whatever you want to say. It's kind of obvious in some scenes, but the puppeteering on Chucky in this movie was actually very well done. The scene where he's confronting the voodoo guy when he's standing at the windowsill and he's moving around, I can't believe they were able to do that back in 1988. That's crazy. And you got great performances here by Chris Sarandon, who plays the officer in this. He did the voice of Jack Skellington actually, and he was in the movie Fright Night. Dog Day Afternoon as Al Pacino's boyfriend, if anybody's seen that. Catherine Hicks, right there, played Andy's mother. She was fantastic in this, underrated performance in my opinion. Even the actor who played Andy, Alex Vincent. I can't believe I forgot his name for a second. Alex Vincent, he was very young when they did this. You could tell he hadn't had much experience. I think this was his first movie. There's some scenes where, he can't really deliver the dialogue all too perfectly, but it's just a little kid. You can't blame him. But I thought he was excellent for the most part in this movie. He did a good job. You know, you can only imagine too all the nightmares he probably had growing up, and his whole life has probably been Chucky and, you know, Chucky related things. Um, but yeah, just very good movie. I would call this a classic, for sure. Some people maybe wouldn't, because it was made in the tail end of the '80s, and some people don't take Chucky seriously. But you know, this movie, I don't know, it just has something to it. If you don't know what I'm saying, rewatch this movie and like watch literally the very last scene where Andy, you know, has to close the room door and look at Chucky, and he's all sad, and then the music that plays during the credits. It's definitely like got a very emotional feel to it. By the way, that is very underrated music that plays during the credits. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, there is a particular song. I don't know the name of it. I don't know who composed it. Maybe it says in the things here. Music by Joe Renzetti. Anybody know what I'm talking about? There is a scene or music that plays during the credits. It should have been Chucky's theme song through all the movies. I don't know why they didn't use it. Maybe because Universal didn't have the rights or something when they bought Chucky. But that music is awesome. I want to find out what it's called. I'm probably going to do that after this and download it somehow. But that very last scene where Andy has to shut the door and he's staring at Chucky, you really feel sad for him. You know, he lost. You know, he wanted to have a best friend, and yeah, it's just none of the other movies did something like that for me. Had an emotional impact like that. You know, it's very sad. You know, you feel sad for him. But yeah, just very good movie. Classic. Don't have much else to say. Just very well done, in my opinion. But yeah. Oh, and I also got to point out, directed by Tom Holland. No, that is not Spider-Man. That is not Tom Holland that we know today. That is the film director who directed Fright Night and Child's Play, obviously. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching this, guys, and let me know how you rank the Chucky film series. Do you think I made any mistakes? And does anybody else agree with me on that music from Child's Play 1? You probably know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. I can't be the only one that thinks about that. Anyways, thanks for watching this, and let me know your rankings. And let me know also what other film series you'd like to rank, me to rank, because I actually enjoy doing these. Because, you know, obviously I'm a big movie fan. I own a ton of movies, so I could probably rank any series you name. But just let me know any in particular you'd like to see. Because I just like talking about movies a lot. I don't know if you can tell. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching this whole video. You're awesome if you sat through it. It's like 23 minutes almost, so yeah. Thanks for watching this, and bye-bye. Have a good one.